Anything can happen. You deserve the truth. We don't just report the stories. We find the stories. Never backing down. Never shutting down. Getting the answers you deserve. This is our promise to you. Every day. Every night.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1.
41 Action News at 10. Clear, complete coverage.
At Newsy, we know it's not news until you tell the full story. That's why we're on the ground and in the thick of things to give you something more, like the truth. Look for Newsy in your channel guide or visit newsy.com/TV.
Lights are back on along 71 Highway. How MoDOT plans to catch people responsible for turning them off.
An EpiPen shortage causing concern for Kansas City families. What doctors say can be used as an alternative to that life-saving device. Let's look live at I-70 westbound, where 435 ramp is still closed after a semi overturned there. Jade Degood has been tracking this all morning. What's going on, Jade?
Starting to really impact the traffic on westbound I-70. It hasn't up until this point, but we have more traffic out there. That usually begins around 6:30, so it's pretty much what we kind of spot on to what I was expecting to happen right now. But so we do have that semi overturned right there on that ramp, westbound I-70 to northbound I-435. That has been closed since last night at 10:45, so it has been closed for a very long time. You can see now those westbound lanes. This is just east of Blue Ridge Cutoff. We are really slow heading through that area. So now you're not going to want to wait so long to get off of that roadway. You can see that slow traffic all the way back, almost to 40 Highway. Still, that's your best bet. If you can exit early, get off at 40 Highway and get to 435 if that is the exit you need. If you need to get along I-70, you can use 40 Highway to get around and back onto I-70, or you can just plan to leave a little bit early this morning because we aren't seeing stop and go traffic quite yet. So we will keep you updated on this. Hopefully we'll see some good news coming up. Hopefully we will reopen that ramp, but we will get you that, of course, as soon as it happens. Let's send it over to Lindsay Anderson, though, to take a look at our weather.
Jade, unfortunately, we have rain on the way, and hopefully that won't slow down matters for those cleaning up there on the ramp, but also might impact our drivers getting into work, especially leaving on the south side of our city, where we're noticing some rounds of steady rain just now entering the 435 loop. We have some moderate rainfall currently in Lenexa, right along 435 and US 69 in Corporate Woods. Also extending back through Lexington, Kansas, approaching Tonganoxie here in about 10-20 minutes, and just now entering Bonner Springs. So if we get a closer view of this, we're noticing that light rain just moving into Shawnee Mission Parkway, and just to the west of Metcalf will slowly approach Roland Park here in the next 10-20 minutes or so. So if we put a track on this, our first round of steady rain will likely get to downtown Kansas City in 20 minutes at 6:53. And Leavenworth, it'll get to you at 7:13 this morning, and Liberty at 7:20 if it continues at that same speed. So something to monitor closely out there this morning as you head out to work. Noticing maybe a shine out there in the roadways. It's not too bad right now in Corporate Woods, I-435, US 69, but just something to monitor out there. So a decent chance for rain, at least between now and about 9 a.m. We'll have a brief break in our rainfall for the early afternoon before another round moves in by the evening. And our temperatures stay chilly all day long, so be sure you dress warmly and grab that thicker jacket as you head out the door, guys.
Lindsay, thank you. Back to that breaking news we're following out of New York City this morning. Another suspicious package found at a restaurant, this one owned by actor Robert De Niro. The package itself has been removed from that restaurant, now on its way to a security facility in the Bronx. This is a live look at that intersection where it was taken. We expect the investigation to take several hours. At least traffic seems to be moving a little bit there. You see New York Police Department cars coming through there earlier. Both of those were blocked off. Law enforcement told NBC News there that a worker called police after noticing similarities in the package to the several found yesterday. It was addressed to De Niro. It had the same stamps and return address for Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz of Florida. That's also similar to some found yesterday. So far, 8 packages intercepted or found just in the last 24 hours. Federal authorities are also concerned another package could still be out there. That one could be addressed to former Vice President Joe Biden. It has prompted New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to deploy the National Guard. He's instructed state law enforcement also to double security at transportation points across New York, airports, bridges, tunnels, that kind of thing. This is something we've been following for the last hour. We will continue to keep an eye on it. We'll have another update for you coming up in about 15 minutes with the latest. 6:34 this morning. This may look like typical street light maintenance, but crews working on 71 Highway are trying to stop thieves. Copper thieves, to be exact.
And MoDOT says thieves are stealing copper wiring from the highway lights by getting into controller stations, cutting the copper, and pulling it out. So that causes the lights to shut off. Now crews are installing tamper-proof plates to prevent this and get the lights back on.
Drivers get accustomed to driving with the lights on, so if it's dark, they're not used to it. Things that they might see farther out now could jump up out at them a little quicker.
MoDOT says if you do spot something suspicious, call police, not MoDOT.
A plan aimed at building a sports complex to South KC is one step closer to reality.
A city committee approved a zoning change which will allow developers to build in that area.
Yeah, the complex would go on Bannister, where it meets I-435. That area is occupied by several abandoned buildings right now. Elite Sports wants to knock down the old vacant buildings and build a spot for volleyball courts, soccer fields, batting cages. People in the neighborhood and the city are hoping that project will revitalize the area. Zona Rosa's new management looking for ideas as it considers changes to its shopping center.
The company is based in Texas, and they invited local design firms to a brainstorming session yesterday. Architects from around the country talked about adding hotels and more housing to Zona Rosa. We talked with a KC architect who was there.
I really applaud the developer for doing this because I think it makes for a better process to understand what's going to be best for this development.
Trademark Property Company took over management in September. Zona Rosa didn't make enough money last year to cover their bond payments, so increasing revenue, that is a major focus here. 6:35 this morning, parents are growing more concerned because of a shortage of EpiPens, and that device can be the difference between life and death for children with severe allergies.
One of the reasons for the shortage is because of changes in manufacturing led to a smaller supply. Parents wait for more EpiPens, and doctors say there are alternatives.
Although EpiPen itself is on a shortage, there are generic epinephrines available as well as other brands.
In a statement, the producer of EpiPen said the company is working hard to increase production.
We're tracking rain out there on our weather track radar this morning, so we have a yellow light out there for your commute between 7 and 8 a.m. We should notice some improvements closer to 9 or 10 o'clock this morning. We'll talk about how those temperatures look for the rest of the day and what the current radar looks here coming up.
And westbound lanes of I-70 slowing down due to a crash at the ramp on to northbound I-435. You can see your drive time slowing down 21 minutes from Blue Springs to downtown. Most of that slowdown between I-470 and I-435. We will keep you updated all morning long right here on 41 Action News.